Hello and welcome back to another of my quick videos answering answering frequently asked questions on investing in precious metals. And today we are tackling how much should you invest in precious metals? Now, as you can see, my channel really focuses on educating about investing in gold and silver, in RRSPs, tax-free savings accounts, and RESPs. So my very first statement might surprise you, and that is I recommend not investing in any precious metals until you understand what you're investing in. So my baseline, even before you start asking how much because you've seen this commercial or you've seen this article, is to educate yourself. I know it might sound weird from this kind of channel, but at the end of the day, you are the person who's responsible for your investment portfolio. And so it's very important that you understand what you're getting into before you take action. Now, so you're wondering where I'm going to go next. Well, I'm going to talk about common rules of thumbs that I have heard and what I have chosen to do. Now, first of all, I do a lot of reading. I listen to a lot of podcasts on precious metals investing, and I forget what I was listening to. I was listening to, I think it was Jim Record. No, it wasn't Jim Record. It was a gentleman who is the advisor to the very rich. And in particular, he was discussing how having conversations and investigating how people, our families, have maintained wealth through the generations and what was their secret for passing on that wealth during generations. And if I remember the video or who it was, I'll put it in my show notes below. But basically, he was at this super rich event. I think it was held in Italy. And he was just chatting with these people who have maintained wealth through multiple generations and, a century of their family line being on earth, and they're still wealthy. And he asked them, what was their secret? How did they invest to maintain this wealth? And the answer he got back was a third, a third, a third. And he was like, what does that mean? A third, a third, a third. And what they said was, we invest a third in real estate, a third in fine arts, and a third in precious metals. And the person went on to say, like in way, way back in time, when this was started as their family culture or family way of life to maintain investing, it made sense because a few gold coins, you could put it in a pocket, you could tie it in your pants or hide it in your boots. And when the world was having war, you could run. It was very portable. You could cut your painting out of the frame, roll it up, and take it with you, and then just get it reframed. Also very portable, still maintaining value. The real estate wealth, once the war or unrest was done, once you had your papers in order, you could go back, and I don't know what the percent was, but more often than not, you could retain or reclaim title to the physical real estate that you owned before the unrest, assuming that the government that has now created the peace within that environment recognizes those legal papers, right? So those were the three. And I found that really stuck with me. And the simplicity of it really resonated with me. And also the fact that I invest in real estate. So that made sense to me. And I said, okay, good. I hadn't invested at all as yet in art. When I was in university, I bought this piece of art. I got into that, creatives, and I thought to invest in art. But now that that has come to my attention, I'm educating myself about it before I take action. All right. The second thing I want to talk about is that your investment strategy depends on your stage of life and your risk profile. So, for example, for me personally, I am relatively young and I have several, not, okay, I don't want to give away my age, but I have a good couple more years before retirement. And so I can accept and I'm willing to take on more risk, right? And investing in gold and silver is supposed to be a hedge of risk. So in my portfolio, I have chosen to only invest, I think it's about 10 to 15% of my portfolio in gold or silver. And again, this may surprise you because you see other people talking about it, and some people put in all their investments in a particular asset class, sometimes in cash, sometimes in gold or silver. I personally have chosen, and I believe in diversification, but I believe in real diversification. I think I still want to invest in the stock market, but diversifying my investments doesn't mean buying different stocks. It means to me investing in the stock market, then investing in real estate, then investing in precious metals. That's what diversification means to me. Second of all, or the third and final point I want to talk about, is that there are different types of precious metals to invest in, and they have a different investing trend or history. For example, if you looked at a 10-year graph of gold and the value of gold, you'll see for the most part it did spike, but it tends to trend up. What you see when you look at that same 10-year chart on silver, there was a huge spike, and then it seems to have hit like a plateau where it's just kind of going sideways, right? And so, although the past does not predict the future, it can give you a good indication of what possibly could happen. So if you choose to invest in a precious metal, then you got to decide what proportion you're going to invest in gold or silver. Are you going to go all in with gold, all in with silver, a mix of gold and silver? Are you going to add platinum? Again, all of these things people don't think about. Now, when I was talking and investigating myself and talking with my trader, I asked him, what was the general rules of thumbs or what he was seeing. And what he told me is that when he's dealing with an investor who is closer to retirement and therefore really not looking to be exposed to a lot of risk and volatility, they put a higher proportion of their investment in precious metals. So first, you've decided how much of your entire investment portfolio is going to go into precious metals. And then within precious metals, you're deciding how much is going to go to what. And what he said is that there was like a 60-40 that he was seeing, where those investors would invest 60% in gold and 40% in silver. And that is partly because of the difference in value. So the 60% of dollar value that you invest in gold is going to get you less physical gold than if you were going to invest in silver because the difference in price is significant, right? And it is also partly to do, as I said, with the person's acceptance or willing to be exposed to the volatility of the market, which tends to more impact silver. Again, this is historical and history does not dictate what's going to happen in the future, but it's a very good indicator of what is likely to happen. Okay, the last thing he said was, when it's someone who is more open to volatility and looking to potentially have that high volatility because they have a longer time frame, or they want to profit from the potential of the higher range within silver, then they allocate more to silver. No. Yes. So that's my complete answer to that question. You're wondering how much you should invest in precious metals. The very first thing you want to do is educate yourself. The second thing is to recognize that diversification means different things to different people. For me, when I think of diversifying my portfolio, I diversify between investing in the stock market, investing in real estate, and investing in physical gold and silver. What does that mean to you? Third, if you do choose to invest in gold or silver, then you need to decide how much of that total investment in precious metals is going to go to gold or silver, and in what forms, and recognizing again to educate yourself about the inherent risk of different forms and different ways of investing. I hope this was of value to you. If you have any questions or comments, I welcome them in the comment section below. And check out my other videos and subscribe if you find value. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.